All right, so we are up to page Kuf Yud Aleph. In the middle of the discussion, Hamachshava, the difference in Machshava and Divu, klal apart. That the higher the air is, the less that the basic that is halkus means the yerid. In the middle of that subject, we show in Kuf Yud Aleph, but a little more than 10 lines from the top. Shom has gila elam shel haklal. The part is the gila elam. Chen b'teira, similar in Teira we also have it. Yesh klal part. Teira is the general and the specific. The rule and the specific mitzvah. Kamei Teira shebeksav b'chinas klal. Teira shebeksav is like a general, klal, general. Shekol mitzvahs never b'teira shebeksav. This klal is levad. All the mitzvahs are expressed in Teresh B'Ksav in a very general way. Teresh B'Alpeh, Bo, Kolin and B'derech part. So we see that in Teresh B'Ksav and Teresh B'Alpeh, the difference that B'Ksav is in general and Teresh B'Alpeh is particular. The Noida, so that connects to what we said earlier about Machshav and Diva, because the Noida, it is known that there is a Teresh B'Ksav and Oisius and Machshava. The letters, the words of Teresh B'Ksav are considered Machshava. What's the right? There's a famous statement, that the Teresh B'Ksav has 613,000 letters. But when you actually count the letters, it's much less. It's only 36,000. So how did we get Shishim Oisius? So one of the answers is the high note, the Shacheshvin Oisius, Shanekudus Mitzim, Afshainim Ksuvim, Shanekudus Mitzim, period. That's one of the explanations that are given, that when the each letter is an akuda, let's say a pasach, so let's say that each let's say Bereshis, the seir of Bereshis really sounds like a yud, so that's a hidden letter. Oisius Shanekudus Mitzim, and a patach and a kometz is like an aleph. We counted to figure out that we reached somehow the number of 600,000. That's what it said. That's not a chiddush or a ma'amar, but that's what it says in the sounds phone.
So you say should count the punctuation also? The nakudos?
What? Yeah, the punctuation is not punctuation. The timing. I don't know. It's not punctuation. It's another word. Another word for it. The vowels.
And what I'm sorry, what do you say about the hidden letters?
The hidden letters are considered, let's say, each time there's a patach or comments, it's like an extra aleph. I mean, I don't know how that will jump from 36,000 to 600,000 exactly. I don't know the details. I mean, it's not okay. Maybe I'll check it better. But that's what it says in Sforim. How do you reconcile what it says? Maybe Oisius. There are only 36,000. One of the answers is because the timing, he calls it the nakud, not time. Sorry, it's a time, not time. The nakud is the vowels might seem. Each nakuda is the Maram is another race. Koponim, but they're not written. So why do we say it? That's Atkan. So the point is that the fact that it says Shish Meves Later is a sign that there's another remez on the fact that the Isis of Teresh B'Ksav are considered Isis Machshav. ומשנקה תרש בעל-פה, מבחינת דיבור. תרש בעל-פה is דיבור. That's the simple meaning, בעל-פה. בעל-פה means how is it transferred from one person to the other to speech, to Baal Peh. And then also, it said, we say in Pasach Eliyah, Malchus Peh Teresh Baal Peh Karinu. It's interesting just to bring a shtick of Pasach Eliyah. There's a simple meaning of the words. Teresh Baal Peh means it's to the mouth, it's Dibur. It brings also a remes from Pasach Eliyah. Ikar Gilui Teresh Baal Peh. So the Ikar Gilui is in Teresh Baal Peh. Like we mentioned before, the person in Teresh B'Ksav just says, the Alter says in Gerth HaKodesh, but it's Simon Chavtes, but it's also something obvious that all the mitzvahs that we do, we can't perform them based on Teresh B'Ksav alone because it's not clear what we have to do. It says, what does it mean? So we need Teresh Baal Peh to explain it. So the way it's in Teresh B'Ksav, it's written in a hidden way. The way it's in Teresh Baal Peh, then it's these galus. So that shows us that Dibur, that just but earlier he brought a dogma from something much higher though. But here it's just on a practical level. Dibur is begilui with galavat be'elam and machshav. So what do we see here? That the gilui, so that all this is to be developing the point that he said on page Kufiyud. In order for the light to be in a state of gilui, which means to be revealed to the makabel should be able to receive it and perceive it properly, to relate to it, only done through dibur, to potis. So that's one dogma from Machshav and Dibur, Teresh Baal Peh. And in the middle, he brought some from the higher madrigas, from the mile and Ach. Now he goes to another dogma. Another dogma, that another way to bring out the point, in order the earth should be a pnimi. We must have the schaltos. Real gilui, real expression of the person is that can midis. Now, meichin agam shen l'mayla avin amidis and turning kol sachayis. The meichin are much higher than midis. Seichel, intellect is above the emotion. And turning kol sachayis. Not the meichin contain the general chayis, which is by little bit reish. Reish. Was that? I'm not sure. Reish. I forgot where that was. The Reish, I said earlier when he spoke earlier that the Reish is called, oh yeah, earlier I spoke, beginning of the Hemshel. The Reish is called Kala Chai Shalai Vol. The Korba is the Velamadai. That the way it's in the Mayach, the way it's in the Mayach, it's in the Be'el. Mashkat was Sefer Shalveni. Peikin and Aleph and Gila Erva Chayes. Okay, so he wants to reconcile what he just stated, that in Mayach it's Behelem, it's in Tanya and Peikin and Aleph, he explains the way the Neshama operates. He says over there that the Gila Erva Chayes is to the Mayach. So how does it fit? He says, no was Zel Rab Kechs Ne'elam, since today's Kalatz Kechas Be'elam Koyam, because what's the Apel Gila Me'elam? In Tanya, it talks relative to the Kechas Ne'elam, relative to the way the Kechas are totally hidden in the Shama, like when the person is asleep or something. Is relative to that, the Meichin is Gil. But relative to the rest of the Kechas, so Meichin is Hell. The Gila Achayos, when is the actual Gila Achayos? Is Pashat Ma'am Meichin Be'evan Apoti. When, so the way the Chayes is in Moyach, it's hidden. When is this Misgala? Only when it expands into the individual body. And not see, there's two two details, what's the word? The two ways that we see that the way things are in Maya, they're in general, and the way they are in the rest of the way the law states they're more developed, more detailed. So number one is the highest. The highest Shabbat Maya is Behelim. The way the highest and the more important is more Bezgalas. That's one reason. That's one way to say it. Also, the intellect. The first, I didn't speak about the intellect. The Mayach is the highest and nefesh comes to the Mayach. So the Mayach heads the highest hidden way, and it's misgal and all the very important. That's the highest. So Mayach means the intellect also is that way. But the Mayach, in the way it's in the Mayachin, it's Klaladine. The way things exist within the Mayachin, it's in a state of cloud. The Gam Saga is even when a person understands a particular intellectual concept, that's exactly what we learned in the previous Maimon, the whole marshal of the Mabel. That the way it's in Meichin, things are in a hidden way, they're not developed yet. It can still be turned out to be either chesed or gvura. So the way things are in Meichin, there's not fully developed, not fully expressed. It's very makif. It's more hovering, surrounding. When do we see the actual fully developed revelation and expression? Only when it reaches the midas, the lev. So now it brings a more so to speak practical way where we see that big difference between Moach and midas. So a person in his mind, when he's doing intellectual analysis, he can analyze something which he actually hates. A person can apply his mind and analyze something which he hates. Not only that, he can visualize it in his mind. So what happens is that there's a concept, let's say a person, an object, even a concept, he hates that concept, but that it's still, while he hates it in his heart, he can apply his mind to it and fully understand it. And that now he brings in from Tanya Perik Hey. When a person contemplates about a specific subject, he really, his entire mind is maculous. When the mind understands and analyzes some concept, so that, wow, that concept is totally swallowed in the person, and the person surrounds it. So there's a certain state of inner connection between them. That his mind is totally preoccupied with something that he hates, and he surrounds it. Actually, Paul, so he says this is something we can question. If that particular thing is very hated in his heart, the heart is what the midas. And the midas, the emotions are drawn from the seichel. So he's asking a question. When a person, since the whole midas is created from the Meichin, And we see that when it comes to the state of midas, he hates this particular subject that he's analyzing. So how is it possible that he can contain it within his mind? How is it possible? So he said, the truth is you can understand. But really, when you pass it more, seichel itself has two levels. The lower level of seichel is the seichel, which is like a trigger, which is a part of the meichem. Part of relating to emotionally to something is that you have the seichel, the perception of that concept that you feel about. So you're meichem, in other words, you understand it. But then there's a higher level of seichel, the seichel way is detached. Is not directly related to the feeling. That level of meichel, the lower level of meichel that reaches the midas, that affects the midas. That level of meichel that's within the midas, you can't tolerate that hated thing. Not only that, even the meichel before the mislaption midas, even the higher level, the meichel that create the midas. What is meichel shaychel midas? What are the meichel? What is the intellect dealing with? Is not dealing with just a objective analysis of something. It's trying to figure out whether this is something good or bad for him. In that level, the Echenegel was Hamida, Gamken in the Yachel, Kolkach Lisbon. Because that object is really hated by him, even at the level of Meichin, which is Shaykh Hamida, even there he can't tolerate. But then there's a higher level of Meichin, which is above Midas. When he understands, perceives, and grasps the essence, the thing itself, not the way it relates to him. In that stage of the Meichin, you can tolerate even something that he hates. Because that level of Meichin is above those emotions of hate and love. It's only Makif. The seichel itself is the one that tells him that this thing gets to be hated. He breaks it down even more. What does it mean? When you say it thinks about the hated thing, it's not analyzing whether this thing deserves to be hated. He just analyzes in his mind, what is that thing? What is it? But after he analyzes what it is, one of the conclusions that the seichel comes to is that that's something hated. Or it's so the question what he asks is the since eventually his seichel comes to the conclusion that this, after a intellectual analysis, he comes to the conclusion this is something which is disgusting, it's something bad, hated. So how can your mind can still occupy it? So there's a bilbo. The fact itself that the seichel realizes that this is something bad should prevent sort of the seichel from being able to analyze it. But we see in reality that's not the case. We see in reality that a person can sit and analyze something, but really hates. So how is it possible? The answer is so all this comes to prove the point is he made before, the difference in Moichin and Midas. Moichin makiv ba'odam. It's not something that really grips the person. It's only something that's makiv, which means is removed. Is the person's relation to the object that he thinks about is not in a way that it grips him, away from pnimi, that it captures him. It's something makiv. It just observes it sort of from the outside. So what is the result? Again, he developed the thing very well. So when the beginning, when everything starts from Midas, he just is strong feeling towards something. So he stays distant from it. It is distant and can't tolerate it. If the approach is intellectual, so from the perspective of the Moichin, even in that level of Moichin, which earlier he said, but here he said, still can analyze it in his mind. Does this deserve to be hated or not? Here he says to love or not. That operation itself, that experience of analyzing it, can be curious, can be in a very disinterested way. This pilot is not excited about it. So again, so what we concluded till now is the difference in seichel and midas. It's in order to be these galas need midas, actually pnimi. Hashem seichel is mak. Now he has a new question on that statement we just made. How can we say that seichel is makiv? That seichel is only like surrounding it from the outside. What is seichel? Seichel means I really understand. I understand it well in my kelim. So he's asking a question. He goes back and forth. First, he started saying that seichel is makiv. It can be. He can even analyze something which he hates, and it can be very distant. But he says, how can we say that? We know the opposite. Seichel really means pnimi, because seichel means seichel means something makes sense to you, right? Something makes sense to you means that you're fully in sync with it. So it's not something on the outside. That makes sense to you means that it's pnimi. That like usually when we compare something that when you do something that doesn't make sense to you, so it means your heart you self is not into it because it doesn't make sense to you. Something that does make sense, that is seichel understands, means it's pnimi. So seichel is pnimi. So we just said it's makiv. How we can reconcile these two approaches? So the answer that he goes even more. The kelim the meichin einam kelim mamish. True, this is in kelim guf einachanam meichin. It's like kelim, like I just said. Something makes sense to you. It means you digest it. You relate to it. So how can we say that it's makiv? So the answer is the kelim the meichin einam kelim mamish. Right? The seichel einam kelim mamish. He has the word mamish. It's not really, but he's gonna soon illustrate it. So maybe we'll have a more understanding what he's saying. But we could like I said earlier before, we could understand in a way. In a way, seichel is something that makes sense to you, but at the same time, it doesn't touch you deep enough that you let's say you go back to the marshal from Dava Asani. You analyze something, you study something which is hated, which you really can't stand. So because you do it in a way that an objective way you remove. That's why you can study it. If you would be involved, emotionally involved, you can tolerate it. So that shows that seichel, that the kelim of seichel are not full. It's not kelim mamish. Valkein atfisa zeis bechlolos tzio odom chas maki v'adayin lo chas gilu pnimi mamish. Rak agav ha'arotz now is a pnimi. So now he puts it in the proper way, in the proper place in the scheme, in the big scheme. So relative to Ratzon means Ratzon is a type of interest that makes no sense, like the general interest in something which is not logical. So that cannot be called pnimi because it doesn't make sense to you. But so b'yachas to that, the seichel it's more pnimi. It makes sense. It's something you can relate. But b'yachas to midas, relative to midas, it's makif because you're not really excited. So we have a rotzen, seichel, and midas. B'yachas to rotzen, seichel is like a pnimi, but b'yachas to midas, seichel is makif. So now he brings in another point that it says in Sfarim, I think it says before Siddur also, that the Bichlal, we see when we learn Tanya, we see it a lot. Tanya always talks, you say this, which side is that, which side is that. So one of the general divisions is that Meichel is inside a Maim and Midas is inside a Eish. So he puts that into the context we just learned. What? That Shameichen Teva said a Maim plus curious because Maim, what is Maim and Eish? Maim is cold and Eish is hot. What is curious? Means She'enim is fire b'davar shemas. Meichen means doesn't excite you, not fully affected by something. Because the hasaga, the intellectual understanding and analysis is in a way of separation from that concept that you understand. The reason why Asaga is in the way of Krios. Krios means almost indifference, detachment. Please pilos because he's above it. It's Krios. It didn't penetrate his heart. Now it goes more. Mash Asaga is Abdullah Madova Masi. Zerech Shadova Musad Matam. Now it brings in another point here. We have to understand it better. When we say that Asog is Abdullah Abdova Hamas, I probably should say Hamusik, I don't say Hamas. Abdova Hamusik. Sorry. So that's Asog is in the way of Abdullah. Abdullah means detached. זהו לכאורה כשהדבר המושג הוא למטה ממנו. אבל כשהוא למעלה ממנו זה כניסס ארדס בדבר. כנראה שעלי הסוגו הוא מסחד ומסדבק בדבר המושג. Now he brings in a new halukah, a new observation that if the topic that we are massing is lamata mimenu, then it's avdol, then he's separated from it. Avak shulam ma'il mimenu is a place achdus ba'adovo. Kanesh the asoga misachad misdavak ba'adovo amus. Kol makoim is a place avdol ma'akoch shulam mata ma'asoga. Ein a nikish from the pnimis, val ken ein a mispal misa. No, saying here. Not sure. Okay, we have to deal with it tomorrow. We'll continue further.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Observation. Didn't we have this mashal Davra Sanoi previously in this sefer?
But this I don't remember. To be honest, I don't remember.
In the beginning.
Maybe.
Yeah. Okay.
I think.
Okay, no problem.
Though what?
No, the fact that even that you hate it, you can still analyze it.
I remember that Emily Marshall Summer. I don't remember this safer from the previous safer, but
Okay.
It wasn't. Even if he had it, it wasn't developed so much where he develops it here.
Right.
The numbers goes into very many details.
Right. Okay.
But yeah, okay. But Al Capone, so we just read one sentence here, which I'm having a hard time figuring out what he's saying. Okay, let's skip it for the moment. When a person wants something, so that interest that you want something that causes a spiral causes great excitement. How does it fit what we always know that Rotzen is market? So how does it affect in the way that you how it burns with strong Slavos? Because then the Rotzen Gila Nali is a nefesh ain't a Slavish but Klikla, can be special like Yavahalakosh. Right? It says a different point. Rotzen has that particular quality because Rotzen is a direct flow of the nefesh. Gila was the lashon Gila Nala man nefesh. So it has the ability to overwhelm the emotions also that they should be excited. Okay, so it reaches everything. That's the pure expression of the nefesh. Because relative to Kaharot, all the rest of the Kaharot are minor telim. Al ken gila Harot and foil by Marot, so Sharot and Imshach Maharot and by spirals. So Rotzen is something which is a full-blown expression of the nefesh. It's Gileam Nala Yesam and nefesh. It's from a higher level in the nefesh. So it has the power to overwhelm the rest of the kaiches. So their kelim are too small to contain the Rotzen. That's why it causes the rest of the kaiches, which in our case more important is the midas, causes the midas to be overwhelmed by that. Male, it creates a state of excitement, Slavs. Aval amoichin ariyam knesfera mislavish v'kelim. Mashenk and Meichin is massage it's not like the Ratzin, which is overwhelming. It's the massage it's something measurable. He uses his mind to the Keli HaMoach should be able to understand something. But at the same time, the Meichin is Prince Avdollah, like we described before, that Meichin is dispassionate, it's objective. שגם הכלי הוא פרנס הבדלה, גם שיעסוק את הדבר. אם מייכן גופה, the separate from the air and the keli, both the air and the keli of the meir, both relate to the objects that they understand in a way of dollar, this passion, of objective disinterest. So it's disinterest. I just want to tell you, this is all this is to explain, to answer a question. Remember, yes, the question that is still, I think that's what he's answering. Yes, the question, we just said that Meichin is Maki, Meichin is Kenim, of Meichin is Kenim, Fisa, Yachas to the Rotz is Pnimi. So this is what he is explaining here. It goes back and forth. The Yachas to Rotzen, Meichin is more Pnimi, but the Yachas to the Midas, Fakert, Meichin is more dispassionate because Meichin doesn't have that power of the Rotzen that is Magiel Kala Keiches. The Meile, it's less connected to the Midas. The Chagar says something more. Meichin the Gadlus, then in Meichin Gufa, in Inter Gufa, there's Meichin the Gadlus, which that's a topic we learned a lot in the past, which in simple English means the full maturity. Meichin Gadlus means maturity, that the person reaches, it's very mature. His Meichin is very, very mature, the opposite of childishness. Not katnus. Katnus means Kohen Keppeldiker, childishness. Gadlus means that he's mature. So Meichin Gadlus is yes. Person in the state of Meichin Gadlus is very mature. His mind is fully developed. And then he's even more disinterested. Yochel Lisbel Yesa Fochim Kanoida. The more the smarter, the more mature a person is, the more he can tolerate opposites. We always bring the much. A child cannot handle opposites, but the more mature a person becomes, the more he can handle opposites. So that why? Because he's more mature. It means he's less invested. He can analyze things in a more objective way. So in other places we learned, I think we learned Samachay somewhere, that the Gadlus means that you clearly the vessel, which means the ability to understand, is more open, wide. That allows any understanding. That's why you can tolerate the opposite, because in your mind you can see that you can explain the opposite svara also. You can explain two opposite svaras. So you can see it one way, you can see it the other way. Still, the fact that these two opposites can reside in your mind at the same time, that shows that it doesn't really, doesn't touch you. If it will really affect you deeply, you wouldn't be able to tolerate opposites. Even the fact that you can explain away each side, you have a good logical explanations on both sides of the svara. The reason why the attacking don't interfere, don't bother you, the people can tolerate it because you're not really captured by it. Remember, I'm just bringing the same marshal the old Rebbe he brought, the old same old marshal, with the Melamed that you read the letter. Remember the marshal that the Melamed was in the olden days. The Melamed used to be the one the Stetler, the Frau Stetler used to stay in the house. He's the one who used to be able to read. So a letter came. And the letters, and the Mama doesn't know how to read, so he reads it to the owner of the house, and he tells him the letter says that your father died, and the owner fainted. So the Rebbe says, "What? How come the reader didn't faint? Because it's not negated to him. It's a general marshal of the fact that sometimes you can analyze something, but it's not doesn't affect you. So mainly it's not about you." So it's a very general marshal, but part of it can be applied here also. The it doesn't affect you. You don't feel it. It doesn't penetrate your actual being. But mainly, because it doesn't bother you, so you can tolerate the opposites because it's not about you. It just it's an analysis of something. So you can say one way, you can say the other way. But if it was about your life, about your inner being, you wouldn't be able to say yes or no. Is it yes or no? It can't contain two opposites. So the fact that Maya can tolerate two opposites, that's proof that Maki. וזהו דגד אז מייכים, מבחינת אינטרס אבדול יס. So בכלל, מייכים is אבדול. גדלס המייכים, it's extremely godless, is more separate. Now, כמוי, now, interesting much. מישהו מבחינת מייכים, גדלס אבדול, שאין מספר כך כנראה בחוץ. That's that, and I bring an example from what we see before. We see down the senses. What do we see? We see that people are extremely mature, extremely state of moichin. Einem isarev. So it's not that it's not that social, not that sociable. Sometimes Chassidus says the opposite. The ultimate expression of moichin is that you can relate to everyone. It's also true, but he brings up proof from reality. We see that people are extremely intellectual, so they're not that sociable. That's exactly such. They don't connect to people that much because they live in their own bubble. So that's a muscle to bring out the point that he's making here. That's the point. I think he finished that point. But again, we still have that sentence that we have to go over again. But the message we got till now, the last half a page, is that agam, that meichin, is takelim. Meichin, like I just said, meichin means the person says, I understand it, I comprehend it, I grasp it. It means it makes sense to me. It's a way. It's something pnimi. It's not something which is imposed on me. It makes sense. I feel all in it, right? So from that perspective, Meichin is pnimi. But it says most. But when you pass it more, you realize that even though it makes sense to you, because it's only and it makes sense to an intellectual level, it's still not real. It's not really a pnimi. It doesn't. That's why in the world of in the intellectual experience, you can tolerate opposites. It's a little different than earlier about Masham Davar Sonic. You can tolerate something that you hate. Here it says another point that in the world of intellect, your mind can see how something can be seen two opposite ways. Maybe it can be this or the opposite way. That itself is a sign that it's not pnimi. Because if it's something that's pnimi, you cannot tolerate opposites. Pnimi means that it touches your essence, touches you. So if it touches you, it's impossible for you to be indifferent whether it's one way, the opposite way. There must be one way for you to relate to. So all this proves and illustrates Hamoichin is maki. Ika gilui, that is getting that is getting to. Ika gilui, but when is the ultimate gilui? Where do we really experience the gilui, the pneumius, in a way that it really enters our soul, penetrates us deeply? That is that everything that he perceives really touches him, it affects him, he feels it strongly in his heart. So that's why we know that what is the essence of the person? It's his feelings, it's his emotions. Okay, that shtickle, I think, now we already learned. It's another maimah. There's a proof in the pasuk. As a kim v'yarov es mitzvos of shmor zeh kol adam. So what is kol adam? So a kim v'yarov, which is really a function of an emotional function. Mitzvos of shmor, I guess, is also somehow related to mitzvah. All right. Okay, the next line we'll already do tomorrow. But we still have to do that sentence that we left open. Okay.
Koyach.
Well,